Here, you got to come back here just a minute and say that. Okay. He's Jonathan Wagy's right here. Old friend. We've got Sean O'Brien coming down. We're in the middle of the giant sequoia area, and there are giant sequoias around.
I see a couple right there.
It is an absolute gorgeous day.
The scaling methods for old growth redwood logs are pretty brutal, and you're not going to like what I'm going to tell you. Well, maybe you will, but the owner of the logs is not going to like it.
Yeah, discount the sapwood.
There is no sapwood on these. The tree's dead. It's a snag.
Okay, there's the monument right there.
Oh yeah.
Boy, they took the tree down there, so that's the monument. They took it from there.
Oh.
He's talking about putting a tree house on there.
Oh, Jesus. These people up here are absolutely crazy. Even somebody climbed up there and put a tarp over it.
Oh God.
Jeez. I don't know.
Yeah, they didn't ask me.
I'm just an old fossil lumber logger mountain man, but that, I don't know. I'm too practical to be thinking about shit like that. I'm sorry.
Well, there's no need. You're preaching to the choir here.
If it had been my tree, we would cut it off at the stump, loaded it on a truck, and got it out of here.
Yep.
We made some money or not made money, but it's
They got flicker nests all over through these. That's awesome. You see that up there? It's their version of the woodpecker.
Yeah.
And the owner was pretty particular about not
Touching anything.
doing any impact on the log.
Well,
We're good and cracked here.
So you're saying, Jonathan, that he's not going to be happy about it because of the defect numbers, right?
mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're at 63.
Oh, it's been measured at the small end.
There's the tip.
This is the stump.
Yeah, this is the butt end here.
Bring your tape down from here, and let's see where the cut mark is. This is the cut mark right there. See what you got. Ooh, let's go the other side.
The owner said these are 6 foot logs, 6 foot diameter.
Well, now you see here, this is what I'm looking at here.
Yep, exactly.
And it's not going to be 10 feet.
Nope.
We're at 113.
How many feet is that?
That's 9 foot 5.
5.
Yep, and it's less than that actually because you couldn't get on the.
Yeah.
It's actually under 9 and it's right about 9.
Yeah. Okay. The sapwood is, we won't even scale it.
No.
It's gone. So the log will be scaled here, about 1 inch inside. And we don't scale from this end.
Let's see what it is.
Yeah, and you can't scale from the other end, so you just gotta you gotta defect it.
58. Well, let's go down and look at it again.
See if you can get your tape in there. I'll get on the other side.
We won't get the tape in there.
No?
You might.
You gotta peel back that stuff and he's gonna get pissy about that.
Well,
we got a tax.
some tax.
Oh, okay.
Quite get this. Like, what's that going to do for
I'm off down here. There.
They got to get into the cut line. They cut the tab off the end of their tape.
Oh, to slide it through?
Slide it through.
Yeah, you never
Cutting the tab off my tape.
never tape it from the big end unless you are unless you're the owner of it.
You're not gonna...
Okay, I'm as far down as I'm gonna go here. No.
Can you eyeball it? Can you hold? Can you?
Well, I can tell you there's very little taper in this thing, and then you're just gonna have to guess.
Yeah,
so, where were you on the diameter side over there with?
I think it was 58.
So if you're at 58 of heartwood, the math I use puts you at 50 inches down here.
Something like that, I would agree. There's another cut line. We'll not even get close on that.
Nope, there's nothing here you can get into. So call that a 50-inch log.
I don't have my pencil. We'll take notes when we get back to the
Yep,
car.
correct.
We have records here. So.
Yep. And this is the one he's wanting to keep.
Yeah, it's a,
Well, I just want to measure it just to see. Pull the tape down to about 1 inch inside the sap.
I can't see what it is.
Yeah, you're away about.
Sapwood is right here.
Yeah.
Right here?
Okay. There. Just eyeball it.
Yeah.
Okay. We're about 50 inches there. That'd be about 1,900 board feet gross.
For a 10-footer? Or a 9-footer?
That's for 16, if we're 16. Well, gentlemen, I'm going to tell you my honest opinion on this stuff.
Walk the other way.
I think you take a look.
Yep.
This thing is worthless.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, look at the huge cracks here. We got the fractures.
Well, that's normal, but you're not buying this part anyway. You're just buying the 2 10-footers.
Yeah, but look at what you got there.
And I'm thinking that
That's a shake split as far as I'm concerned.
something. And
Yeah, that's not a seasoning crack, is it?
I don't know what it's.
You can't tell.
Yeah, I can't tell. But if you look at what's remaining of the tree, there are cracks in it. So it would be.
Oh, so it could be seasoning.
I'm pretty sure it is. They need the seasoning crack. This is both a seasoning and a shake crack. The defect in this tree is.
Horrible.
This is a cull log.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
Now, if this log was sitting on the road and it was $500 for both of them, I'd take them. But that would be about it. Yeah. There is just nothing. There's nothing here.
That's what we're here for. Find that information out.
Here.
There's no pictures of the logs that they on that video.
No.
And you can't quite inspect it.
You're not going to get a 10-footer out of this, so you're going to be some volume loss there.
Yeah, so you only
Now,
got.
in the scale, if you followed the scaling rules, that'd be scaled at an 8-foot log.
Absolutely, absolutely.
We had a guy. I'll tell you this interesting story.
And even then, they don't scale anything. If it were a smaller log, 8 foot would also be a cull log.
Yeah, because the mills won't take it.
They don't take anything.
Yeah. Well, they would take this.
The specialty
They
only.
could saw it. See, their sawmill won't go down to 8 feet. It's got to be 10 feet to get it on the sawmill. But there's enough here.
Yeah, somebody would want
like
it if
me
it were a
would.
whole log.
A guy like me would just pull a foot off of it and call it good. But the point a guy came in one time, this Mexican guy, and he had a truck and trailer load of burnt pine logs.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't bad looking logs, and he got them down Southern California. And FEMA was paying it was when they had that big insect epidemic down there that killed off 400,000 acres of pine down there in San Bernardino around Lake Arrowhead. And this Mexican dude came in, and he was kind of an entrepreneur. And so he got this load of logs for free, and FEMA paid him $800 or $900 just to haul them off someplace. So he brought them to me and said, "You want to buy them?" Yeah, I guess so. And so, but I want to scale them before I buy them. And I had a guy working in my yard. He was building a log home, and he contracted with me to cut the logs for his log home, and I didn't have time to do it. And so I just rented in my sawmill, and I helped him and taught him how to run the band mill, and he could do it himself. And this guy was a certified scaler. He'd worked for the state. He was a forester for the state for 30 years. He knew how to scale logs. And I said, "Well, while I'm unloading this truck, we can't run the mill because I can't feed logs to you, so would you be kind enough to scale these?" And he's over there scaling away like mad, and he kept shaking his head. He kept shaking his head, shaking his head. And I got done unloading and put the guy's trailer back on. And, "Okay, what's the story? Why are you over here shaking your head?" He said, "All these logs are exactly 32 feet long. There's no trim. They're supposed to be 33 feet.
33 feet.
And so we paid him, he got, okay, So on a short log scale, he would have been paid for a 14-footer.
Yeah, 14 and a 16.
Wow.
Yeah. And God, that guy was mad. And I said, hey, gotta follow the rules. He didn't.
Well, I've had it done to me. I've shipped them to the mill, and they disallowed half of them that I
Well,
sent.
the book says 2 feet if you don't meet the trim allowance.
Yeah.
And I've seen loggers who cut timber for years that didn't know what the trim allowance meant. I took them in the sawmill and showed them why they put trim allowance on it. These guys would buck logs in the middle of a crook. They didn't know this. 16-6, cut it off. Buck that crook out and the scale goes way up. They didn't know. Nobody bothered to tell them. And it was like some of these guys had cut timber for over 20 years and didn't know why the log was 16 foot 6 inches or 33 feet long. And I said, well, there's a trim allowance on it so you can square the boards up when you're done. And that's what it's for. And you don't meet the trim allowance, you're penalized. Oh, geez. They really ought to take every timber faller that works for the sawmill and run them through, take them on a tour of the sawmill and explain how things work.
Why you need the little...
Oh, that would really help a lot.
The University of Oregon did a study a long time ago. I can't tell you everything you need to know about it, but they went up on an active logging site, and they were hand falling trees, and they scaled the logs as they were bucked. And the whole idea was bucking logs, not cutting. Okay. And so then they came back and they put on a class. Here's how to buck logs for maximum value. And taught the fallers how to do it. And they got somewhere between 10 and 15% more wood off the same logs by bucking them correctly rather than just bucking them to formula.
That's good knowledge.
Yeah. And you know, when I studied forestry and you know, we were acquainted with that immediately when we had to deal with logs and timber is that, you know, look at your logs before you start bucking them. And I bucked a lot of logs.
Over the years?
Over the years, and I got whacked a couple times because I was being stupid. And so when it comes out of your wallet, you learn quickly.
Yes, that's a fact.
Let's take a look at this, what's left of this standing thing here.
So I know there's a bunch of other people that the spoken to listed in the main book, not the thing with the cow.
I'm gonna get your, oh, you've got it already. Look at you go, Jonathan. Way to go. Oh no, that was actually Sean. Was looking for that.
Yeah. Those are seasoning checks. No doubt about it.
Those are what?
Those are seasoning checks.
Yeah.
What's happening is as the tree dries out, it shrinks.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. And the only thing it can do is check.
Yep. Dries and checks.
And it gets smaller in diameter, so something's got to give.
That's it. God, what a tree. What a tree.
It's not a massive tree.
I know, they get bigger than this, that's for sure.
The biggest one I ever cut was 22 feet. That's all we could stand.
Okay, this is a good backdrop. Is there a picture of
Yeah, let's get a picture. I got to figure
I'm very familiar with the idea of the rotten knots. And the Europeans tried to grow this stuff for timber, and they came across the same problem. So they pruned their trees.
And you're talking redwoods? I didn't.
Giants, oh, they grow lots of giant sequoias.
Where are they doing that in Europe?
France and Germany.
Oh, I'll be damned.
Yeah.
And I knew they were doing birch and...
oh, they grow Douglas fir, Scots pine, all kinds of non-native stuff.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They grow like crazy.
Huh.
And
you know, Doug Pierto is involved with that and his expertise.
Yeah. So the rotten knots are a known commodity in that giant sequoia in the young growth, and that essentially,
and old growth Pacific Coast redwood.
But the thing is that and that essentially makes young growth redwood a non-commercial commodity. It's just a pain in the butt. And the mills take them because it's part of the timber sale, and they got to take them. And what they do is they run it all into one buy and put it in with a cedar and sell it for fencing. And just get rid of it, saw it up. And so I got some.
And these are sequoias you're talking about.
I got some nice logs like this. But we had the rotten knot problem, but I did get enough good stuff out of it, and I got some good slabs. And I didn't have the Lucas mill then, but we did it with an Alaska mill. We got some good slabs, and we came out on it okay, but it was a challenge, especially when you got to the rotten knot side. So I was asking this forester, I said, well, look at these big old trees with, 150 feet to the nearest limb. Well, how'd that happen? He looks at me like I'm an idiot, and I was. He said, it's the fires, stupid.
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah, we don't have fires anymore.
Right.
Okay, see, there's a young growth giant sequoia, the one with the swell butt. Look at that.
Yes.
Those limbs will stay on.
Right there.
Those limbs will stay on forever.
God, look at this backdrop. They're killing me.
Look up in here. Let's see here. Right in the center of most of these, that just doesn't show, but there's just a pencil lead size of heartwood in there,
yeah.
And it doesn't like to rot off, or at least very quickly. It's in there. It's just pink, but that's why they don't fall off. So these things will stay on.
So they're too viable to fall,
Yeah,
or
so
to.
The Europeans were having this problem, and they discovered it early on. But they have a relatively small land base, and so they culture their trees a little more carefully than we do. And so they actually undertook pruning programs.
Yeah, they'll keep them trimmed in.
And they actually have developed a mechanical method of pruning. And it's been around since the 60s. It's called a tree monkey. And it has a little 2-cycle gas engine on it, clamps around the tree.
Does it walk itself down that?
It just walks itself up the tree like that.
Oh, up the tree. Wow.
Just mechanically popping out, hitting them with a...
It's got a saw on it, and it just saws them off. But it takes 2 men to run it. And, and they have a social welfare program for their workers worse than ours. About,
or better than ours, depending on.
The 30-hour work week with 6 weeks of free vacation.
Well, that's where our guys want to go over there.
Yeah, and the work ethic in many places is not too strong.
Yep. Well, I don't know.
I always had a tremendous work ethic. Was that or starve?
Well, that's the thing.
And I starved a couple times.
Yeah, it only takes once
If you're
or.
hungry, you're gonna work hard for it.
Yeah.
This is an amazing.
Now, see, this one's naturally seasoned and doesn't have as severe a.
That has to do because it was cooked by the fire.
Yes,
Sealed
cooked.
it up.
It got cooked.
Sealed it up.
Yep. It got rid of quite a bit of the moisture out of it
Yeah.
quick.
Is it calculatable when this fire hit this tree and didn't damage any others?
It did damage others.
Is this in our lifetime? This fire?
Well, first thing you could do is age that tree.
Yeah.
That tree has come on since this tree died. So the
A little more.
About 42 bark to bark.
yeah. So what I'm saying is this tree antedates the fire here. So you have a minimum right here.
Okay.
Let's say that tree is 50 years old. Well, that tree wasn't here when this thing got burnt. Because
Or it wouldn't be here.
it wouldn't be here, or if it was, it would be burnt.
Yeah.
See the fire damage to it. So this would be your baseline here, but you'd have to look at a lot of trees
Yeah.
Yeah.
to establish a fire history here. And just looking at one won't do you much good. And but
Oh my God! Look at this thing.
This fire happened a long time ago. But none of these trees are burned. None of them.
Yeah, none of them.
This big one down here was charred a little bit, and but the charring goes away with time too. And as the tree makes more bark, the charring slushes. See that tree down there?
Yeah, I see that.
They probably had a lot more.
That burn spot on it.
It takes 100, 150 years, and eventually the bark falls off the tree. So this fire.
And they're not fireproof, but they're fire resistant.
And I would say this tree here probably burned right about, if not prior to the white man showing up here.
A couple hundred years?
I'd say 100 years at least.
That's a good, sounds right to me. Not that I know it, but it does sound right. And you're right, nothing else around here.
I see no fire scars on the fir.
And even the other sequoia that are here that we were looking at didn't have anything that was obvious.
So there.
And I don't see much in the way of any of them that are older than 100 and something years by very much.
Well, I think there might be some fire scarring on that, but I just don't see enough here to suggest that.
Well, you know what? I do see some couple 100-year-old guys, so you're right about that.
And then the thing about this tree, it was probably dead when it burned.
Yep.
Otherwise it wouldn't have burned.
We are here at Jonathan Wagy's old sawmill that he recently sold. Got a Mighty Mite going on here. Got a Lucas mill over there. Mobile Dimension in the background. Maple.
Yeah, that's maple.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's a maple. Slab that up.
You bet. Absolutely. Beautiful wood. And
Sell it for about $10.
is this a broadleaf or what do they call this?
Yeah, you got a deep void.
It's not a silver.
No, it's
And they develop a lot of this, which is really nice.
they call it a silver tip maple. That's what
Okay.
it's an exotic tree.
Get a bunch of fiddleback in these things.
And I'll put it back in this.
It's got a little bit of something going on in the crotch. Yep.
Here, I'll show you how to make a crotch line in a bell hook. It's so simple. He doesn't, see, I bought a $3,000 band sharpener. He doesn't even use it. He just throws the bands away.
Oh, I'll be damned.
After one use?
Wow, tell him to
Look at it.
give them up to Sean.
Will it fit my mill?
Yeah, it should.
13 foot 10 inches.
Is that a wood? That's not a wood.
No, that's a Mighty Mite.
Holy shit, watch your step. This guy doesn't do much in the way of cleanup here. It's pretty stinky. This scares me even. Never find anything here. Just lost it. I had a whole set of tools out here. They're all gone. This thing can show up right here. Some big blue. God, they never sharpen the saws. God, I can't believe these guys. I don't see them anywhere. I don't see my bell hooks. I don't see the cable. I don't see anything. See how the saws don't match here?
Yep. Yep.
I went over here the other day and I said, well, let me fix that. And they won't let me fix it.
Ah!
Oh, we ain't got time for that. Gotta go, 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 go.
Wow.
So everybody's dressed up.
I'd have you fix it just so I could see how it's done.
And what's happening? There should be a cable out here. With, you know, it's an old log wrapper. There should be out here in the two bell hooks. They're not around. Let's see if it might be hanging off the loader. I just keep it on the end of the loader. Here's the cable. These are the chokers here. This is an old, you can make one of these yourself.
Old choker. Yeah.
No, it's not the choker I'm interested in. It's underneath the choker right here.
There it is right there.
That's an old log wrapper for a log truck. When I had a log truck, back in the day, you could make your own wrappers. That would be
Yep, I've seen those in play a couple times.
Splice the eyes. So anyway, what you got here is this cable, you know, 14, 15 feet long. I can't even do this anymore. I've forgotten how to do it.
What's that called? A
It's an ice splice.
Splice.
splice, yeah. I learned that when I was taking sailing lessons.
Well, I learned how to do it when I was a logger up in Washington. We did a lot of it. But it's something it's not like riding a bicycle. Okay, so what you got is a cable with a short piece of chain. The idea is you'd throw it over
Over the load.
logs, and then you had a chain on each end to work your binders into. Tie down your binders.
Mm-hmm.
The bell hooks, I have no idea where they went.
Yeah, they got spalting going on in this maple right here.
This is what the
Yeah.
this guy.
Yeah, that's quite a bunch of gizmo that you got to put together. But you got a couple of handy people around that can make this kind of stuff happen.
Now, of course, on this, you can just put the loader underneath and pick it up. So let's say you had an 8x8 you got cut out here, and you wanted to pick it up. But
I know what you're doing. You're going end to end.
so the you know, the mold dimension mill lumber wants to go that way.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's just too damn heavy and awkward to move. You just can't do it.
It's got to come from up top.
So what you do, okay, this is off the can hook. We found some old broken ones. And they're like that. Take a hammer and pound it in. That one here like that.
Got a bit of adjustment you can do, all kinds of stuff.
That. Pound that in there, and then take a block of wood and just hold it up in the air. Hide the loader underneath it.
Boom, boom, boom.
That's why they use
Save your back today, live to save your back tomorrow.
And so there's no reason why you can't make one of these in about half an hour. You've got the materials. You don't have to have a cable, you can use a chain.
Yep. These hooks are the key, right? Finding these kind of...
Yeah.
You should have a few of those around.